recording now because if you're going to say something nice, I want you to, do it on. Go ahead.
Okay, let me continue. So since the second I started with him, first of all, I absolutely think he's amazing. Every word that comes out of his mouth, I learned something from. And since this course and being trained, it has saved me and a ton of kids. Everything is virtual. So I'm using the Wizimo board. I'm using his materials and his stories. And I'm watching my kids' faces light up because they can, read decodable texts that are easy for them to, have, and I can share online with them and use during tutoring. It's unbelievably amazing. I thank Steve all day long, every time I'm tutoring. I wish I could shout out and tell him, oh my gosh. It's really.
Good, I need that. I'm working with a very tough group right now that has autistic kids, Asperger's, severe dyslexics, and all of them have attention deficits. It's a zoo. So I'm having to change everything. I'm supporting a teacher, but we're having to change everything to get this baby up and running. Fortunately, I had a group like that 8 years ago that I can fall on experience and just adjust it for Zoom. But yeah, it's this Zoom thing presents a whole, unless you're one-on-one, it presents a whole nother set of problems. So once I figure this out, I'll really have a lot of great advice for classroom teachers. And I think I'm halfway there, but it's tough.
I think you're more than halfway there.
Yeah, well, with classes, I mean.
Okay.
So.
Well, if everybody brings, I'm not a classroom teacher, I'm only doing tutoring, but if I would believe it's with all these materials and thinking outside of the box a little bit, using your materials and your program, a classroom teacher can be really successful.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's a sequence. And we had a teacher from a place I work who didn't follow the sequence, who spent a lot of time reading to kids. And kids didn't grow. I'm actually tutoring them this year because they didn't grow. I mean, it's just, they don't believe in the research, which we're following pretty religiously. And what can you do? I mean, I'm not in a position there to make changes. So, yeah, I mean, the research is real clear what we got to do. So, and we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So are we ready to get going today, Steve?
I'm ready.
Yeah, so if you don't have it in front of you, you probably want to have your words and quotes and the stoplight sheet. And can you raise your hand if you do not have those, or do I need to go get them and put them in the chat? Maybe you should have access to them from your course. You're raising your hands because you don't know where they are. You're raising your hands because you're excited. You're raising your hands because you have it. I'm not sure what that all means.
I think they need it. Yeah, raise your hand if you don't have it. There you go. Christian doesn't have it.
Christian doesn't have it. Demerits for that teacher right there.
Nor does Laura.
It's not in the words and quotes.
So maybe we just put it on chat, Steve. Like
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's not in the words and quotes.
What would you educators say if your students showed up to class without being prepared to be able to do it? I mean, this is a review of your course. You need all your materials.
I'd say it's the first day of school.
Send it to us.
I'd say you were one of my students is what I would say. All right.
It's in the lessons book, I think.
Yeah, it's the lessons book.
But you
I will
said
find it.
Quotes,
Give me a moment. I'll find the words and quotes and send it to you.
Well,
and
now, Steve, what they'd say, it's like the kid said today when one of the teacher in that class asked a question about the phonics, and he said, "How am I supposed to know that?" Just laugh. Well, if you're paying attention, which nobody was, you'd know that. I mean, they're spinning in circles, playing with dolls, heads down, spacing, disappearing, turning off the screen. I mean, it's quite a game we got going there. We'll straighten it out hopefully this week, but it's
okay. It's in the lessons book right after the concepts.
Yeah.
Like page 32B.
That's the stoplight.
Right. That's what we need, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm putting the words in quotes into the chat. There you go. And there's a stoplight sheet. Okay, Steve, I'm going to stop this recording, then we're going to go.
Right.
And so I need everyone to mute. There's someone's got a radio on in the background.